Thunderball is a 1965 film. It's the fourth film for Sean Connery to play James Bond. That's 4 years in a row this guy has played James Bond. Well, it's directed by Terrence Young, and the plot of this movie is we're back to the Spectre. If you guys remember, the Spectre group from the first and second James Bond films, they took a break in the third movie, but they're back, including that guy who just likes to pet his cat, but we still haven't seen his face. And even though we haven't seen this guy's face, you could tell he's still creepy, because in that one scene when they're in that meeting and all the members are there and he kills one of them, the way he does it is he has them like almost blow up, and then the chair just goes down, disappears, and comes up empty. But the main villain in this movie is this guy, Emilio Largo. He's Spectre's number 2 in line, and his plan is to create this whole scheme in order to steal 2 nuclear weapons. But of course, James Bond has to come in there to stop them. Now, what I thought of Thunderball, I thought it was okay. I kind of liked it. Not a perfect James Bond film, especially coming off of Goldfinger, which so far has to be the best James Bond.
Have you seen everything you came to see? Now go back to your friends and report. Tell them the little fish I throw back into the sea. Hello!
This Emilio Largo guy, I thought he was okay, sort of generic, but I liked the eye patch, thought that was a nice touch. His voice was dubbed, which a lot of the villains in the James Bond movies, their voice has been dubbed. I wonder why, like maybe these guys have a good look, but not a good voice. This girl who plays Dominique Derval, she's the mistress of Largo, and her voice was dubbed too, which again, I can see that though, like you can find a hot chick, but maybe she just doesn't have the right voice. But right from the bat, I like this Dominique girl because she addresses the fact that usually when Bond finds the girl who's on the bad side, he sleeps with her, and all of a sudden, just from sleeping with her, she turns on the right side and she does the right thing. She says, "This isn't gonna happen with me."
What sharp little eyes you've got.
Wait till you get to my teeth.
And sometimes I wonder with Bond, is he using these girls just to get to the bad guys? Or is he actually so attracted to them that he really is pursuing them and wanting to sleep with them?
I think you got the point.
Which makes you wonder, what happened to the other girls in the movies? Not that I expect Bond to now have a girlfriend, but still, they kind of just, like he sleeps with them, sort of falls for them, and then they're gone a year later. But Sean Connery as James Bond, once again, is great. He is one of the best James Bond. In fact, because I personally like Daniel Craig more, or the best out of the Bonds, but Sean Connery is definitely a close second, and I understand people who do say that he is the best. Some of the things I like about this movie is I like this one scene where Bond is telling MI6 about everything going on and that he saw this guy's dead body, but they saw him, it was actually an imposter. And one of them was starting to question if Bond knows what he's talking about, but M says no, if Bond saw it, then I believe him. And it was cool to see that because M is played by Bernard Lee. And in the other movies, it seemed like maybe M was sort of busting James Bond's balls or kind of giving him a hard time. But here, you really see that he trusts him. And you also get Q with a funny scene where he's showing James Bond more gadgets, and I like how he sort of pokes fun at the fact that Bond never really knows how to use the gadgets right off the bat. My only complaint, I guess, in this movie is that there's a whole lot of underwater stuff going on. And I would have liked them to have like the couple of underwater fights that Bond has with some guys, or even when the sharks are after him. Like those scenes, you're like, that's kind of cool because it makes this film stand out on its own and has like its own memorable fight scenes. But there's a lot of underwater stuff, a whole lot of underwater stuff, and I couldn't help every time it happened to say like, really, we're underwater again? It kind of slowed the movie down to a screeching halt. But I still like Sean Connery as Bond. I mean, how can I not? This guy's a badass. There's one scene where he gets shot in the leg and he pretty much just walks it off. I didn't mind them going back to the Spectre plot because it was unresolved, and I do want to see that get resolved, hopefully sometime soon. So Thunderball, not a bad James Bond film. I enjoyed it like I said, but coming off of Goldfinger, it had some pretty big shoes to fill up. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Thunderball and if you think it's a good installment in the Bond series. As always, thanks for watching guys. Like and subscribe. Later!